Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd just do a quick video on my new motorbike. Yeah, I decided to buy a Yamaha VMax. Yeah, I thought I'd just give everyone a quick walk around, quick squiz at what I got, and tell you how it happened. I bought this thing at auction, sight unseen. I'd always wanted one. I just think they're a cool motorbike. Like, yeah, they're just a good thing. And so I ended up, bought it sight unseen. I work away, so yeah, went through the auction process. Ended up getting it for $4.5 grand all up, or maybe a little bit more with the fees and whatnot. But yeah, this was not, it's not actually a write-off. That's what they said. It hasn't been crash damaged. It looks to me like it's simply been abandoned. Look, if you look there, it's only got 24,000 K on it. I'd love to know what the story was. I did ask on the Perth Yamaha Facebook VMax Facebook page, and yeah, no one as of yet, no one's replied. But yeah, it looks like it's just been left to sit. Someone spent a lot of money on it, and yeah, just abandoned it. Yeah, the fork seals, I've given it a wash, but this whole area here, like everything was just covered in oil. So yeah, I don't think there's any oil at all in either of these forks. Alright, so what's wrong with it? Well, it doesn't run. When I bought it, they said, the description said flat battery. And then of course I've gone looking to find where the battery is, and it didn't have a battery in it. So it's got a battery in it now. Have a look, I've got to bolt these down. The fuel pump, which is in there, the fuel pump is dead. It's getting voltage, but it's just not turning over. The fuel tank, the actual fuel cap, where is it? Here, as you can see, that was seized, so I had to drill that out. But yeah, that's my new fuel pump there. But yeah, that was seized solid, won't go. The fuel tank was full of rust, as you can see there. That's just some of the rust. I was flushing it out with methylated spirits, and there's just more and more rust coming, and I thought, oh well, you know, it's too far gone now. So I ended up bringing the garden hose in here and just putting the garden hose down there with the drain open and just flushing it, emptying the tray, flushing it again. I think I've got most of the rust out now, but I don't believe it's been run with the tank in that state, because if you look here, this is the fuel filter. I don't know if you can you see in there? Looks pretty clean. So, and I did open these drains up, and there's just a tiny bit of rust, like almost a powder mixed with sludge. So yeah, who knows. It does run. If you pour fuel down the carbies, it will start up. Sounds good too. The exhaust on this thing, like if you take a look under here, there's just a little bit of corrosion starting to form, but those pipes don't have a single stone chip on them. I don't think it's even been run. If you look in there, I don't think it's even been brought up to temperature with these pipes on it. It's an import, so I'm hoping that's not going to give me grief when I try and register this thing. Fingers crossed. But So yeah, what else was wrong with it? Well, the clutch didn't work. So I actually pulled the, I've got the slave cylinder out of it now. Yeah, that's the slave cylinder there. I actually just put a hone. I've just put the new seal back in it. I've got a seal kit for it. Yeah, I honed that up. And yeah, you can see if you look in there, I've kind of cleaned it up now, but you can see where all the brake fluid's leaked out, and yeah, you can see down in there it's sort of stained the paintwork. But yeah, no big deal. Hopefully I'll have that back together today. Because I did try, I had this slave cylinder sitting around. I bought this thing new. It's just a Chinese cheapy generic thing. I tried with that and that didn't work, so I figured, okay, well, it must be the slave. But one thing I did concern myself with, I've got this big box of bits with it, and oh yeah, there we go. That's the original carbies. Now, if you sort of know about these bikes, that the original carbie setup has got what's called the V-boost setup, where you've got a valve that I probably should have got that out to show you, but yeah, it's got a valve between each of the pairs of carbies that opens, and I think it's above 6,000 RPM, so it'll feed, each cylinder gets to feed from 2 carbies. Now this here is an aftermarket setup using these Cayenne, I think they are. Yeah, which is a sort of a much more modern type of carbie, but and those are like hideously expensive. I think they're £2,700. So to buy those carbies is worth more than I paid for this whole bike. So someone's obviously spent money on this thing, but the word on the forums is unless the motor's been worked, it's really not worth. It's not worth getting. So it makes me wonder, is this thing going to run better with the stock carbies on it, or has it been worked? Has it had more money spent on the motor? But the one thing I did check when I was bleeding the clutch, because in the bag, in the box of bits, there's a the stock, this plate here. And I thought to myself, oh, they haven't just put the cover back on with the clutch not even there, and that's why I can't bleed the slave cylinder. So I took this off to have a look, and it's got an aftermarket Barnett style, what do you call this, pressure plate. But this has the, you know, your typical spring setup, whereas the original has sort of almost like a car, like a dome shaped disc spring, which apparently is not very good. But yeah, it still holds water. It's full of water now. Yeah, so today's mission, oh, one thing else I've got is I bought this super high quality Chinese Ford control setup, because one of the first things, of course, you do when you buy a motorbike is you sit on it. And I found with these, because I'm quite tall, with these mid controls, my knee joint sits about here. So both my legs are just spread out ridiculous. Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. So I've got these Ford controls. That bad boy goes there, and well, you get the picture. I do, well, I'm not really a sport bike type of person, but on this type of bike, yeah, because I've got long legs, I prefer Ford controls. And if you look at this thing, if you sort of take a few steps back, yeah, it's a great big motor. Yeah, it weighs a ton, but it's actually very short wheelbase, and it's a short, stocky bike. So yeah, there's not much leg room with the standard setup. So yeah, what else is there? That's about it. Oh, one thing. Yeah, I'd love to know who the history of this thing, the story. I was looking around because I was thinking, okay, well, I've got a fuel pump now and I've cleaned the tank out. You know, I'd love to get it going. So of course you got to put this on, put the thing on the piece on the other side, fill it up with oil. I'm like, oh, where's the oil filler? I'm looking everywhere, and so I actually went and looked and read the manual. I'm thinking I must have missed it somewhere. Well, that's the oil filler there. That's the plastic, you know, your typical plastic oil filler. But somebody's put this here is a breather. So someone's drilled out the original filler cap. Yeah. So this is something you do with these bikes too. You can just take off the fake tank, as VMax people call it. Oh, look at what they've done. That's the breather coming from the filler, but then I don't know if you can see it through there, it tees off to what must be down in there the original breather. And I've lost my light again. Got my light. Yeah, so, and it's got NOS written on it, which of course makes it go faster. So I'm wondering whether I can just get the just get rid of this ridiculous setup and just run the breather, just run this filter straight down in there. I reckon I should be able to, unless these things breathe really heavily. I don't know. And I don't, like, this has got this braided hose set up, but then when you look, it's got these sort of pretend fittings, you know. Look, it's a bit hard to see, but you look around the back there and it's actually just a hose clamp. So it's just a rubber hose with the fancy braid on the outside that's held in place with a, you know, $2 hose clamp, but it's got the fancy hose clamp cover over the top of it, which yeah, I don't really like that. So yeah, I may return that to stock. Well, at least get rid of this part of it. But yeah, otherwise, what else is there to say? Yeah, she's going to get new pads, brake pads front and rear. I believe this is the later Gen 1 front end. I think they upgraded this, was it 96 or 97? Slightly bigger forks, bigger front brakes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that going, and let us know what you think in the comments. Yeah. Have a good one.